Hey guys, Nish Quick here, and this is going to be my first video in the series that I want to call The Road to Tears of the Kingdom. So February, March, April, May, just about 3 months or so till Tears of the Kingdom. So I kind of wanted to hop on the bandwagon and do a Zelda themed tier list, kind of like what I did with Xenoblade, but instead of characters, Zelda has about 19 games. So I thought I'd do a tier list on those 19 games, and as you can see, got S, A, B, C, D, and haven't played, because I haven't played all the Zelda games yet. But before we start, I just wanted to say, I wanted to thank you guys very much for all the love and support on the latest videos, like the Tears of the Kingdom theories, the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 theories, and all that. I really appreciate all the likes, all the new people who have subscribed to the channel, and just all in all, the really great outpouring of support that I'm getting from you guys. So I wanted to propose a little challenge. I always start off the videos by saying, hey, you guys should like, you guys should subscribe to the channel, but this time, of course, I would really appreciate the like and subscribe. But I want to propose a little challenge. We are right now at, I think I last checked, 314 subscribers. Let's try, and I think we can do it. Let's try to hit 500 subscribers before the release of Tears of the Kingdom. And if we do, I'll think of something like fun that we can do together. Because 500 subscribers before my most anticipated game, that would be pretty awesome. And I think we can do it. And it would just be fun to get a whole bunch of new Zelda fans, Nintendo fans in on the ride, and the road to Tears of the Kingdom. Like, this video is kicking off. So yeah, if you haven't subscribed, I really appreciate the subscribe down below. Join the Nish Quick Pops family, and yeah, without further ado, let's get started with this Zelda tier list. So I guess I will start off by plopping in all the games that I haven't played yet. All right, so this is okay, here's the first thing that's gonna get everyone mad. I'll be right back. Hold on a second. So what's going to get everyone mad? I know I'm starting this off not so good, but I've still yet to play A Link Between Worlds. And that's pretty unfortunate, right? But I will at least say this. Here, I got my 3DS here right now, and I will say this. Even though I haven't played Link Between Worlds yet, it is right here on my 3DS. So my goal is to try to play and maybe complete A Link Between Worlds before Tears of the Kingdom releases. So we'll see how that goes. So there's A Link Between Worlds. Four Swords Adventures, unfortunately, have not played that. Let's see. Oracle Games, unfortunately, have not played those either. Yes. They're now on or they will be coming to Nintendo Switch Online, so I can play those then. Spirit Tracks, Phantom Hourglass, Minish Cap, I played a little bit, so I'll keep it there. Zelda 2, I've not played Zelda 2. I would like to give it a shot someday. So here are the Zelda games I unfortunately have not played. So I'm trying to decide now, should I go in order of release or order of what it is here, or should I just go in a random order? I'll just go, that's tough. Well, yeah, I'll just go in order that it is here. I just want to also preface this again by saying, I do not think there is any bad Legend of Zelda game ever created. I think these games are all like 8 out of 10s or above, and majority of them are 9s or even 10 out of 10s. But I'm going by personal experience here, and we got S, A, B, C, D. So we'll see what lands where, and I just wanted to preface, all these games are phenomenal. This is my favorite video game series of all time. A Link to the Past. Ooh, this is tough. A Link to the Past is tough because I am a huge fan of SNES games, and I just love the whole vibe of the SNES, the pixel art, the music, and A Link to the Past is arguably on the same level of revolutionary and groundbreaking as Ocarina of Time. So, but the thing is, I still do feel like other Zelda games are easier to play in a modern kind of setting and with modern games and all that. I think it's aged very well. I'll still put it in high A. A Link to the Past is in high A, and I will also say it is in my top 5 Legend of Zelda games, and you guys can maybe figure out what those are later. I think this is Four Swords. Four Swords, I'll put it in D. I played the Anniversary Edition, it was fun. Just wasn't a big fan of it, and I think another big reason is because I didn't have much friends to play it with, but whatever. It was alright on my own, but not really the best. Oh, Breath of the Wild already. I don't want to talk about that right now. I'll talk about it later. Link's Awakening, the original. I'll put it in C. And even the remake, I might put it in B. Link's Awakening is good. It's a much simpler version of A Link to the Past. I think Link's Awakening is a very good game in terms of its world. Like Koholint Island, I think the whole like mystery surrounding Koholint is very, very eerie and mysterious and just kind of keeping you on the edge of your seat. And on top of that, I think a lot of the dialogue with the NPCs is just very kind of unsettling, and not in like a scary way. It's just kind of like something's not right here, and that kind of urges you to keep going with the game. Majora's Mask, all right. First S tier game. Cannot put Majora's Mask anywhere but S tier. I say many times, Ocarina of Time is my favorite game of all time, but if I have to say in terms of overall gameplay, I think I prefer Majora's Mask, because I like the time management, I like the whole 3-day cycle and the routines of each of the people within Clock Town and all that. I am a huge fan of that. I know many people do not like it, so it's to each their own, because when I started Majora's Mask, I wasn't a fan. It was very stressful, very irritating, kind of too much to keep track of, but the more I understood and the more I figured out how to use that 3-day time cycle to my advantage, then I fell absolutely in love with the game. Zelda 1. I don't think it's aged very well. I don't think I can pick up Zelda 1 and play it as easily as I can with A Link to the Past, so I'll put it in B, but it's the one that started it all. It is, in my opinion, the first ever open world action adventure game. I mean, it's not open world like Breath of the Wild or Witcher or any of that, but for its time on the NES, that was an open world, and they did it very well. And there's no other way the Zelda series could have started but with The Legend of Zelda on the NES itself. Let's do these DS games. Phantom Hourglass, C or D. No, I'll put it in C, because Phantom Hourglass was kind of a tedious game, kind of simple. I didn't like the sailing in it. The music was a little underwhelming. The characters were underwhelming. I don't even remember if I even beat the game. I still have it somewhere. I can go back and beat it. It was very okay, but the thing is, the whole touchscreen controls were actually pretty cool. I was a fan of the touchscreen controls, and honestly, Spirit Tracks did it a whole lot better. Wait, no, that's not what else. Yeah, there we go. Spirit Tracks did a whole lot better. I loved Spirit Tracks' controls and gameplay and the way you use some of the items, and it was so genius. I thought it was really cool back when I played it, like back in middle school. It was awesome. Minish Cap, I'll put it in high B, and the only reason is because I haven't played a whole lot of it. So I want to go back and complete more of Minish Cap, but it was a very innovative game, put you in some very interesting scenarios as like a tiny diminutive Link. Really, really cool. And I really hope we see more of this concept of shrinking down, because I think it really works within the whole dynamic of Zelda. So yeah, let's keep at it. Let's keep at it, Nintendo. Come back to that idea. Let's see, Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. Whew. I am going to get a lot of hate for this. I just want to prepare you guys. Do not come at me with the pitchforks and the knives and the angry comments, because I'm about to explain my point of view right now. But in the end, it's not even like a bad take, really, in my opinion. First of all, I'll lessen the blow right now. Twilight Princess goes in A. Very amazing game. The thing is, I, as a kid, would always criticize Twilight Princess so much for being the edgy Ocarina of Time, for being the dark Ocarina of Time, and not like having its own identity or whatever. Ooh, whatever. It's trying to be cool, right? I was stupid. I don't know what I was saying, because I played Twilight Princess again in college, and I was like, whoa, this game is amazing. It has so much subtlety, it has so much to love in the small little intricacies that it has. And then not only that, I played it again like maybe a year and a half ago, and I realized one thing that I loved the most about Twilight Princess. And I didn't really vibe with the story as a kid, but I think the story is told very, very well in Twilight Princess. And the way it is told is by slowly drip feeding you information that you kind of question. Like, who is Midna? What is Twilight? Who are her people? Who is Zant? Why did Zelda surrender? And that's only in the beginning parts of the game. And then you go into more, what are the few shadows? Who are these people? Like, you start asking questions, and they're slowly but surely answered the more you continue with the game. And it's done in such a very awesome manner, and it's a very, very epic Zelda game. It has probably, honestly, one of my favorite moments in any Zelda game ever, and that is the boss battle with King Bulblin. I think that's his name. Yes, it's the one where you're trying to save your friend Colin, and you fight him in Hyrule Field, and then you encounter him on Bridge of Eldin, and it's like a joust. Oh, that was so cool. I loved that part. So Twilight Princess is up there. It's many people's like favorite Zelda game. It's not mine, and it doesn't even make my top 5, but here's the one that's gonna get everyone else mad. Wind Waker, my my least favorite 3D Zelda game, not in my top 5. I like Twilight Princess more, and I like these 3 more. Here's the thing, and this might also be because of the fact that I have only played Wind Waker once, and with every other 3D Zelda game, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, Breath of the Wild, I've played them multiple times. Wind Waker I've only played once, and that was, oh boy, it's gonna be about 10 years since I played Wind Waker last. So I need to go back and play it on my Wii U, which is like sitting right here on my desk. I have Wind Waker HD. I played the original on GameCube. I should go back and play the HD version and actually complete it. And I will give you a little brief rundown of why I'm not the biggest fan of Wind Waker. It is because I am not too big on the dungeons. I think one of the biggest things I love about the Zelda series are the dungeons and how innovative they can be. And then you're gonna say, oh, Breath of the Wild didn't have dungeons. Well, Breath of the Wild had 120 shrines, and those shrines made up, for me, it made up for the lack of dungeons and the kind of monotony of the divine beasts. But I'm hoping Tears of the Kingdom has dungeons, because that's the logical next step. Come on. Wind Waker's dungeons, it's not that they were necessarily bad, I just don't really remember them, and they don't strike me as super memorable. Like Forbidden Woods, I remember it because like I forced myself to, and I'm like, I couldn't really take anything like positive out of that dungeon. The only dungeon I really actually enjoyed was probably the Wind Temple, and maybe Tower of the Gods. Tower of the Gods is alright. It was kind of repetitive with the command melody, whatever, but Wind Temple was actually kind of fun because of the iron boots and the hook shot, and that was fun, and then Mulgera was fun at the end. But that's my biggest complaint right now with Wind Waker. I just wasn't a fan of the dungeons, but even the sailing was a little monotonous and annoying, but the discovery of the islands was cool. And I will say this about Wind Waker. I will say this. Wind Waker has my second favorite story in the series. Second favorite, like out of all 19 of these games, Wind Waker is number 2 in terms of the story. And in terms of OST and soundtrack, Wind Waker is also number 2. It excels in those things so well. The Wind Waker soundtrack is genius, so good. But I do like one soundtrack better. We'll talk about that in a bit. But in terms of all of that, I think Wind Waker does a very good job, and also its art style is absolutely timeless. Wind Waker art style will never ever get old, and that is the amazing thing about games like this, is they have such a stylized look, but like they just never get old. So that's amazing. That's the beauty of games like this. We're down to the home stretch. Skyward Sword. This might also rub some people the wrong way. Here we go. Skyward Sword, high A. And that is because I just am a huge person. Like, I have a very personal connection with Skyward Sword. My second ever YouTube video, I'll have it linked up here. It is just me getting on camera and talking about why I love Skyward Sword and why I'm excited for Skyward Sword HD, and a little hesitant about Skyward Sword HD, but Skyward Sword is a very special place in my heart. It is the Zelda game that kind of made me stick around as a Zelda fan. Ocarina of Time is the game that got me into the series, and Skyward Sword is the one that made me a long-lasting Zelda fan. The hype and the pre-release for this game was so much fun. As like I think I was in the 8th grade, I would always get up in the morning and jump onto IGN to see if there's new footage or new trailers for the game, and I just love the whole idea of motion controls and one-to-one swordplay and all that. It was such a novel concept and idea to me, and I played it for the first time and loved every second of it. And then I played it again like a year later, without all the rose-tinted glasses, I guess you can call it, and I kind of understood what a lot of the complaints were, and I finally completed it last year on the Switch, the HD version, and it really still holds up. I think Skyward Sword has some of the best dungeons in the entire series, if not the best dungeons, like Ancient Cistern, Skykeep, Sandship, Lineru Mining Facility, all those amazing dungeons. It has my personal favorite Legend of Zelda soundtrack of all time. So many amazing songs, and it speaks volumes because that was the first ever orchestrated soundtrack for the Zelda series, so that was really cool as well. And of course the story was brilliant, beautiful, beautiful story. Love it so much. So yeah, Skyward Sword is a high A. And these last two, I'm kind of unsure of where to put them. So Breath of the Wild I'll put over here. Breath of the Wild, what can you say? It is the game that kind of changed gaming post Breath of the Wild. A lot of open world games have taken inspiration from Breath of the Wild, and Breath of the Wild did a lot of things that many open world games were very kind of hesitant to do, and they just did it. And you see that now bleeding into other games like Genshin Impact, Immortals Phoenix Rising, and I think the biggest notable example of that is Elden Ring. Elden Ring's open world really reminded me of how Breath of the Wild's open world is teeming with discovery and mystery and questions and so many things to find and uncover. But Elden Ring has that as well, but in a more kind of more dangerous world than Breath of the Wild's kind of relaxing and serene world. So I always sit down and think sometimes, if Breath of the Wild wasn't the way it was, I honestly don't think Elden Ring would be the way it was either. So yeah, so we have a lot to thank for Breath of the Wild. If you ask me on a certain day, sometimes it will be Majora's Mask higher, sometimes it will be Ocarina of Time higher. I did say I like Majora's Mask gameplay a little bit better, but I will give the edge to Ocarina of Time as the ultimate S-tier Zelda game and my favorite Zelda game of all time. Because I tell many people this, Ocarina of Time is my favorite video game of all time. And the reason for that is I also have a video on that. You guys can watch it up here. And it is a video about how Ocarina of Time kind of changed the way I look at games. It changed the way I looked at every single game I played after it. And not only just games, but movies, TV shows, music, media in general. It made me take a deeper look inside of the things that I'm interested in when it comes to media. And for that, I will always thank Ocarina of Time for doing that and giving me that kind of spark. And not only that, I think it's a game that still holds up today. It is the highest rated game on Metacritic still, even when the 3DS remaster released. It was very highly acclaimed. It is still considered by many to be a very substantially influential game, and it is because of Ocarina of Time that many 3D action and adventure games are the way they are, with the introduction of Z-targeting, standardized sword play and combat, and melee combat against enemies. On top of that, you have the established conventions of 3D Zelda dungeons with massive puzzles and environmental puzzles, which are just kind of built upon in future installments. You have a very simple yet relatable and very impactful story about maturity, good versus evil, and you have some of the most addicting and most recognizable and most beautiful video game melodies of all time. So yeah, Ocarina of Time takes the ultimate S tier position. Here it is, my final Legend of Zelda tier list. So let me know in the comments below, do you agree with this? Especially like Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, and Skyward Sword, those hot takes. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And yeah, remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And remember, let's try to get to 500 subscribers before Tears of the Kingdom. I think we can do it. Let's see how far we get. And if we do, I'll think of something special that we could maybe do. And even if we don't, it's fine. It's gonna be a fun road to Tears of the Kingdom. This is the first step in that adventure to Tears of the Kingdom. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. And yeah, this is Nishquick signing off. Have a great day and go play some great games today. I'll see you in the next video. Later.